never rains but it pours. Is there a positive opposite version of that saying? All Star Trek references aside, it's been a couple of crazy life-changing weeks, but boom, I'm back, baby! And I'm bringing Andrea with me again for the second half of the Danger Girl Spectacular Part 2! I asked in my last update video if you guys wanted a spoiler warning before finishing the comics, and well, this is your spoiler warning. If you want to find out how this series wraps up, stop the video right now. Likewise, if you missed out on how this series started, go watch part 1 and catch up. But right now, let's get a couple of words from my lovely assistant. That's right! She's back again, ready to lend her world-famous voice talents to our humble production. The beautiful, the lovely, the talented, wonderful Andrea.
Because I'm going to ask how you feeling.
Good. I'm not sick anymore.
Oh, that's good. Did you hear the last episode?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Okay.
It was really fun.
Are you nervous?
No. Not like last time.
Yeah. But, okay.
Alright.
Fantastic! Chapter 5! The Danger Girls continued searching for lost artifacts and ended up in England while our James Bond stand-in Deuce had a brief meeting with Agent Zero and sent him off to hinder the efforts of the evil organization known as the Hammer. Previously, Abby and Natalia shared a moment of friendship where Natalia apparently gave her a ring. I did not catch that at all. The team busted into Eddie Owen's house to retrieve the golden helmet when the Hammer struck. Sidney Savage and Johnny Barracuda were taken hostage. Natalia took a shot protecting Abby, and the rest of them found themselves in a literal cliffhanger. Literal because it's on a cliff, and it's where the chapter ended, and it's the Imprint Comic Company title. Meanwhile, at the Danger Yacht, Hammer's scuba agents sneak on board, attempting to steal back the golden shield when Deuce gets the drop on them, kicking one guy in the face and snapping the other guy's neck. He's clocked from behind, and they arm an explosive before making their escape. Boom! Meanwhile, back at what's left of Eddie Owens' house, good lord, Abby looks like a giant compared to these two. The ground gives way and they slide down the cliff face. I like the arm wiggle. And plunge into the water below. Agent Zero! And we get our chapter title. Zero bears the mark of the Hammer and Valerie pulls a gun on him. The tattoo!
It's one of them, Abby. One of the creeps that shot Natalia.
Zero convinces them that Deuce sent him to save their butts and that they need to move now. Elsewhere, Johnny Barracuda slowly regains consciousness. Sidney is out cold and they're both tied to chairs when Falcon, apparently an old friend, starts talking to him when they're quickly interrupted. Cut to a crazy double-page spread that you can't see all of, as I frustratingly point out in numerous other trade paperbacks. Johnny calls this self-experimenting Frankenstein a psycho, and me. Oh, how am I gonna do this? Make it known, Agent Barracuda. Undue compliments will get you nowhere. My name is Dr. Karnov von Krippler. As for my plans, well, I plan on transforming Z2 into my obedient zombie Ubermensch. Then I plan on very inappropriately touching your Fraulein friend about the chest and backside. Shall we begin? And yes, all of that was important to the story. Eyeballs! Johnny gives him grief before he presents to them Serum X. He injects Falcon with the serum, who immediately hulks out and makes to smash the doctor before dropping to the floor. Blue sores bubble to the surface of his skin before reaching critical mass and Falcon blurps off screen. The doctor tops smacks him off and wonders aloud, "What is it, my dear Major, that allows my glorious serum to work on you and you alone?"
Your brilliance is indisputable, Von Krippler. As is the glory of the Hammer.
In the North Atlantic, Abby is freaking out over the fact that they can't reach Deuce. This shot. So hot. It's no doubt a commonplace move for a woman, but it's such an intimate thing to show at the same time. Unbelievable. I have no idea where you come up with a pose like that. Abby finishes dressing and goes on deck to see Zero and Captain Tanaka, which sounds like a Star Wars reference to me, who dresses like the skipper from Gilligan's Island. The captain is refusing to take them where they want to go until he catches a look at Abby. Hey man, you should have seen her on the last page. Valerie introduces the sea turtle, underwater submersible, to Abby, and she freaks out and runs below decks feeling overwhelmed. Zero goes after her, gives a brief pep talk about surviving, and she reluctantly agrees, promising to quit the job after this.
We need you on this one. The Hammer must not succeed.
Alright, but then I'm through.
I don't know, the word bubbles look like he's whispering to me all the time, so that's how I'm going to cover it. Underwater, there's a brief talk of 3 pieces being needed to complete a set of mystical armor when they get a ping on something big. Something very big.
Nazis!
Nazis! A sunken sub. I don't care if you say this guy is from England or not. He's totally a hillbilly, and that's how I'm reading it too. So what are them 2 red dots then? Very Gomer Pyle.
Trouble!
They retrieve a sword from the wreck and tie it to the umbilical when hammered hydronauts appear. Hydronauts make their move, slamming into the sea turtle. Zero blasts them with torpedoes, having made his own modifications to the sub. Hey look, a Star Wars reference, when it wasn't lame and still obscure enough to get away with. The Hydronauts have their target locked when gigantic eels attack and crush. Back on the surface, Valerie's in trouble as someone familiar steps into view.
Bravo, Abby, bravo. I always had my doubts about you, Chase, but Douche was right. Your talents are amazing.
I probably spelled that wrong.
Your.
Hold on. Your. Shift R. Space. Talents.
Your talents are amazing. Too bad you will also be his undoing. Okay,
It's already in record.
okay. I'm gonna just say Rasha first.
Go for it.
Because that helps. Rasha!
Russia!
Rasha!
Russia! More enthusiasm.
Okay.
Faster. More intense.
Natalia?
It's regular voice, not Russia. Trying to get.
Natalia?
There you go. Right.
Oh, God. That's right, my poor foolish girl. You see, you led us straight to the third and final piece. The hammer will finally assemble what was rightfully ours and rule the world.
It's great. Now
She
do
probably
right.
should have said Z world.
Oh, we'll do it again if you want.
And rule Z world. But how? Did she?
Oh, see
No!
that. Regular Andrea's
Look,
excited.
I'm not Russian.
Oh, not with that attitude.
Chapter 6. Man, she's evil but still hot. Recap way to the beginning to remind you who the heck Duncan is. Dangerous Destinies. Man, danger is like the word to use in the title to your book. You can do so many variations with it for subtitles. The sub rises and that butt is just absolutely ridiculous. Makes me think of this monkey showing off that I saw the other day. Do you see it? Not bad though. They get another big ping on the sonar as something big is headed straight for them and the craft is rocked. Nope! I'm calling it out again. Campbell sucks at action lines and movement. The Photoshop blur is a cop-out. If you really want to sell boob jiggle, you could have done a better job with the line work. A Jaws reference and Tanaka goes down with the ship. A bigger boat indeed. They come to the surface looking for survivors and are greeted by Valerie and Eddie in a life raft being circled by sharks. Just then a rescue helicopter carrying Abby's friend Duncan swoops overhead. Convenient. I was wondering when Duncan was actually going to do something in this story. They climb aboard and head to Duncan's hotel in Monaco, where Abby tells them their adventure and brags that the hammer can do nothing without the shield. A familiar voice chimes in. It's Deuce, telling her that the shield has been stolen and that he'd been left for dead. With a scar like that, I have a hard time believing that that dude will still be able to accurately do math anymore. Deuce reveals that he's always known about Natalia's double agent tendencies, and he left the shield on the yacht to draw her out and hopefully learn the secret location of Hammer's headquarters, though she sabotaged the security systems and was forced to swim ashore after the explosion. Soon Valerie comes rushing into the room, spewing technobabble about using the signal from Abby's ring to trace it back to the source on Hammer's secret island. That's it, Valerie. You found it. Hammer Island. Sydney and Johnny are dragged out to a monster ceremony.
Australia?
Oh, yeah, Australian.
Australia? Johnny, how many?
Might be tricky, Sid. I've counted at least a dozen of these goons. The troops start clicking their heels and throwing out some fists as their glorious leader is finally revealed.
What the fuck is that? Do Australians say fuck?
I don't know, but I'm gonna bleep it so it doesn't matter.
Oh.
What? Oh, I like curse words.
Australian.
Evil! In a can. They're forced to kneel as Major Maxim and the twins from the last story, even though they don't remotely resemble the twins, ceremoniously present 2 of the artifacts. The leader begins sharing his backstory, and suddenly it's time to play Spot How Many Indiana Jones references are in the picture! The obvious one is the Cross of Coronado, then the chest piece that Belloc wears, headpiece to the Staff of Ra, Shankara Stone, Shankara Stone, Shankara Stone. They've been pulling indie references since the beginning of this series with Abby's introduction, including the Idol of Fertility and the Necronomicon. Obviously an Evil Dead reference, but in my brain there exists an Indiana Jones movie where a cult wants to use the book and the Cthulhu statue to summon the Elder God. Also, there's a poster. Anyway, he tells a story of angels mating with human women, a fine choice to be sure, and creating a race of Ubermensch, superior in size and strength, a race of conquerors from which a champion arose, bestowed with the shield of immunity, the helmet of second sight, and the sword of sovereignty. Suddenly, Atlantis sank and this dude tries to draw allusions to the drum as being descended from them. He mentions the sub being sunk during World War II and the sword being lost. Come to think of it, does anyone remember them mentioning coordinates to the lost Nazi sub? How the hell did they know it was there? I don't remember. Anyway, evil monologue, and Natalia presents the sword and the final piece of armor. She gives Sydney a slap, grits her teeth, and promises to kill her and Johnny later. Meanwhile, beneath Hammer Island, Agent Zero and Abby Chase come to the surface in spy movie style. Zero tells her they're going to split up and that he's going to rig the island to blow. She has 45 minutes to do what she needs to do and get out. She attacks the guard in Natalia on a top fashion, knocks him out, and heads for the cell block with Sydney and Johnny. Elsewhere, Zero is setting charges when a menacing shadow falls over him. They talk about their old master, and the white ninja reveals his quote-unquote face and his name as Assassin X. These guys are Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe, with just substituted names. From the hammer tattoos to the color schemes, I'm perfectly fine with it as the old rivals burst into combat, throwing kicks and chops. Cell Block 4, Level 3. Sydney desperately needs to use the bathroom and begs the guard to help her out since her hands are cuffed. There's a toilet in your cell. Use it.
This is, you have to be sexy here. Sexy Australian. I should have put that in the note. Too.
Australia?
Australia?
Can't even say Australia in Australian. Aussies? Down under?
But I still need someone to unzip me.
Oh yeah, that's good. But I still need someone to unzip me. And my belt, pretty please.
Ah, brother. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Cover your eyes, kids.
I think you've seen enough. Come on, uncuff me, tiger. Oh, that sounded Russian. Oh god, I've lost the Australian now. Ugh.
In a minute, I don't think I've seen enough.
Party hard, Johnny. Better pack some heat, tough guy. Things are about to get dangerous.
Great.
I still think that sounds Australian/Russian.
I don't care.
Filler page. Chapter 7, the big finale. One final recap. Another filler page. You know, one of these filler pages probably could have been used to give us a hint at Natalia's backstory and why she went evil. No? Maybe in a future story. Deep inside Hammer Island. Might want to cool it with a whip cracking, Sid. We don't need to get our escape broadcast to the world. Ah, security room with priorities. That helmet is something out of Flash Gordon. Abby shows up, blasting the hell out of the place.
Oh, good. I thought that might get your attention.
She forces the workers into a closet. Spoiler, they're all dead now. She does some fancy computer stuff to link up with Valerie on the outside, who gains access to the entire island as they start searching for where Johnny and Sydney are being held. 10 levels below, the fight between Zero and X rages on. Their dialogue focuses on their history as disciples of the Order of the Dragon and the death of their master. G.I. Joe.
Would Sensei resort to such barbaric styles of combat? You forget, X. Sensei's dead, and if I'm to dishonor my master, it will only be in his honor. An attempt to avenge his death will only result in your own Zero.
That was a little piratey. Hey, look at that. You can get away with just BSing a frame with nothing going on and a bunch of sound effects. Good to know. 12 levels below that, Johnny and Sydney are stopped by Kid Dynamo with, grabbers and a Hitler fanboy outfit. And I'm starting to get flashbacks of Vern Troyer as Napoleon on that show, Jack of All Trades. Kid Dynamo charges at them with utter nonsense ensuing. Right!
More of them there, and everywhere! We're surrounded!
Looks like it's curtains for us, babe. One last chance for romance. Oh yeah, I've been looking forward to this part.
Oh god.
Come on.
The door slams closed on the troopers as Abby appears through a side entrance.
This is way too personal.
I love it.
Just here to save your lives, but if I'm interrupting...
Valerie tells them there's a service Valerie tells them that there's a service elevator. No, I'm doing it this way. Valerie tells them there's a service elevator that will take them straight to the surface, and they head out.
Guys, think you can keep your hands off each other till at least after we save the world? Ugh. I'll never hear the end of this.
What can I say, girls? It was the Barracuda thing to do. I had to seize the moment, along with a fine special someone's leather-skinned butt. Yeehog! Yeehog? Whatever. Our villains are set up in near-perfect opening of the Ark of the Covenant formation as our heroes look down on them.
I'm going down there. Down there? What if those psychos grab you? What if they need a virgin for some kind of...
You lost it, but keep going.
I did. What if they... Oh, God.
What if they need...
What if they need a virgin for some kind of creepy sacrifice? What are we gonna do from up here? Throw stones? Boo and heckle them? Somebody's gotta go check it out. Don't even start with the somebody jokes, Johnny.
It's okay, good. Somebody.
That's how you spelled it.
I know, that's what he says.
What? Oh, I forgot about that. I want to know more about that virgin thing. Suddenly, the twins and the doctor get the drop on Johnny and Sydney. I'm not entirely sure how this dude knows who Abby is, but he alludes to someone counting on her intrusion in order to teach her some manners. See what I mean about the Ark of the Covenant setup? They even have the movie cameras. Doctors drag out the husk of their leader and bestow the mystical armor upon him, with hilarious results.
Natalia!
Natalia appears from behind, and that's a lot of dialogue to say that I'm a liar and I used you to accomplish our goals.
Die!
Natalia springs into action, and Abby is quick to shoot the knife out of her hand, but apparently too terrible a shot to actually kill her.
You first,
Krakow! An awkward double-page spread and some fighting action that could have benefited from more mud. The Hammer leader has lost his patience and urges them to get on with it already. Nothing will happen despite wearing the armor though until he proves he's worthy of it. A couple of snide threats later and boom! A shockwave rings out and he's transformed into another awkward double-page spread.
Oh! Oh, she's Australian. Okay. Oh my
God.
I want to do the God one.
I did the God one. I blew out my voice doing
God.
5 different voices for this thing.
The Hitler Youth runs up to congratulate him and is annihilated instantly. The monster shoots force lightning from his fingertips and kills off the soldiers in Ark of the Covenant fashion. I have no use for an... Oh crap, I have to do this guy now. Give me a second.
I have no use for the hammer.
That's gonna be difficult to replicate. And he then raises the dead as you do. Wait, they just happened to build a fortress on the island where this guy's army was? Or is this some kind of magic thing where they have just appeared in the ground and rose up? Maxim stomps the corpse back into the ground and rips another apart with his hands. Marching over, he unmounts a massive gun from a vehicle and unloads on the leader who deflects the shots with a golden shield. Natalia freaks out and Abby convinces her that they need to work together to stop this creature. And as she's doing that, Max loses an arm which goes down in a Predator reference blaze of glory. Maxim! No! Those rotting creatures are eating my precious experiment! Sydney and Johnny use the distraction to get the upper hand on the doctor and the twins as Abby and Natalia fly overhead in an attack chopper. The Dark Lord spews fire? Magic fire? At them and then raises more dead.
Band together, my faithful warriors, and together we will travel to the outside world. For tonight it is finally ours to conquer.
Man, I hope I didn't put too many more of those in. Abby takes aim. 2 missiles go swinging away, and...
Mother Russia.
Russia! Abby, you missed! Sounds like Count Dracula.
Sounds like the little bat.
Bartok.
Bartok.
I would give her a ha, and a hi-ya, and a woo-sa, and I would keep her, sir.
Abby, you missed.
That's great.
I just want to sound like him now.
Bartok is Russian. It's
I know.
Anastasia.
Should be listening to him.
Yeah, you should.
Did I not?
Waters rush in, washing away the Dark Leader and his payload. Natalia seizes the opportunity to attack Abby again. For some reason. Payoff to the chest and backside crack. Told you it was important.
Just one more. Yeah! Kick for that chest and backside crack he made back in his creepy dungeon laboratory. Yeah!
The timer continues to count down as Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes fight in a Star Wars set piece. Assassin X says victory will be his as soon as he kills Zero, and then Abby, because apparently everyone knows who Abby is. X's eyes are revealed, and the reader sees that he's blind, and that he's actually pretty awesome since his mask had no way of ever seeing out of it. He realizes the truth of Abby and Zero's connection, and backflips away, falling through a weakened walkway. Zero grabs his hand and at the last second offers to save him like good heroes do, and he tries to win his old friend back over to his side. X tells him he can never be the same, that gives him a poke in the ribs, falling into what I assume is fire. It's actually kind of sad. I approve. I think I mentioned it last time. It's interesting how just a few lines of dialogue can open characters up and show that they have a rich, sweeping backstory. Shock! The timer is broken and there's no way of knowing how much time is left. Zero bolts for the exit. Alarm klaxons blare across the island and water vessels flee in all directions.
Situation's looking bad, Johnny.
Just bad, or resume the groping position bad? Perhaps we could help. We thought you might need a lift.
You can ride with me, Johnny. I'll save you.
Thanks, pal. Back in the helicopter, Natalia and Abby continue to struggle as the countdown timer finally hits 0. The island explodes, the jet skis make their getaway, and Abby flips Natalia over her head. What happened to the canopy of the helicopter, I have no idea! Abby grabs her hand at the last second to save her like good heroes do, but rather than giving Abby her other hand, Natalia slips, falling into fire. What a waste. Later on, a boat. Abby feels bad about not being able to save Natalia's life, as she had saved hers back in part 1. Deuce tells her that Natalia's actions had ulterior motives and not to worry about it. There's the obligatory, "Do you think that's the last time we'll ever see the bad guy hammer organization again?" trope, and Johnny tries to get Sydney to pick up where they left off earlier. Deuce welcomes Abby as a full Danger Girl member finally, and she's basically naked as they all raise a glass to her. Outside, Zero spies through the window at Abby, then sits on a jet ski, heavily implying that Abby is his daughter before riding away. Cover gallery! There's a good amount of bonus material in this trade, so I'm not going to go through all of it. I'll just show you some of my favorite covers though. This one seems very famous. I think they use this image in a lot of promotional stuff. This one I love. You could not get more late 90s than an Austin Powers 60s fembot image. Good times. Maxim! Crap, I feel like I'm showing most of them. Hey, look at that! They give you a double-sided fold-out poster if you want to tear it out and hang it up. Oh, Natalia. There's a sketchbook part too, which is pretty cool. It shows you thumbnails to a bunch of drawings, and this is probably my favorite part. The custom swear icons that they refer to as dingbats in here, but I know them by their scientific name, Grolixes. And that's it. Is there anything I can take away from this comic to apply to my own series? I think I covered it in the last part of this review. Bits of simple dialogue to make the world and characters feel bigger than they are. It's also a reminder to make sure the action lines are good enough to convey the movement of the scene, and make sure your poses can sell those actions. Good lord, this review was a little bit later than I'm comfortable with. I hope you'll understand I did not expect the level of life change that happened in the middle of this to occur. And I'm still trying to get used to my new schedule. Also, my lovely assistant got sick, and I've basically finished part 1 of my comic recently, which is absolutely crazy. You pound away on something for so long, and it never seems like it's gonna end, and then it's suddenly finished. Anyway, I'm back now, and we have to wrap up this special event next time with a full McFarlane action figure review. Everyone, please let Andrea know you appreciate her in the comments. But that's it for me. Like I said, I'll be back with a review of the Danger Girl action figures. Until then, if you wouldn't mind, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, call your grandmother, and I'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.
Is there anything you want to say?
My accents suck, but it's still really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You want to do it again sometime?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There's a lot of sexy, hottie boobalati women in comics in the 90s.
What was I going to do? Australian or Russian?
I'll do all the Russian ladies then.
I can do sexy smoker voice.
Really? Huh? Yeah. Do you want to do that again?
Do what again?
Say something in sexy smoker voice.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. You could be like, what do you want me to say?
What do you want me to say?
Well, that's perfect.
Okay, bye. See you later.
I love you.
Love you. Love you.
Love you. Don't smoke, kids.
Was that not recording?